Hi there, baby cakes. Listen to this description from Tourian's Etsy store for the Oracle of Echoes. It says the Oracle of Echoes is a vivid 50-card deck divination system that explores the inner reflections of the human psyche, delving into both light and dark aspects of life, offering a unique magical entrance into the patterns of your soul through beautiful intuitive illustrations full of colour and symbolism. I am so excited to finally be opening this. It has been sitting on my shelf waiting for some love, waiting for some attention for a while now, but as I think I've kind of made clear in some previous videos and things that I've said before, I don't like to have too many new decks to absorb and imbibe and look at all at one time. I don't like to open lots all at once. I don't like to purchase lots all at once. I feel like that's overkill for me personally. I feel like I can't choose which one gets my attention. It's really difficult for me to prioritize time with each of them. I sometimes feel confused between the energies of various different decks that I am only just working with and only just getting into. So for me, it's really important that I just relax on the opening of decks and buying of decks or reviewing of decks and just give myself some time and feel like I can really, I have to feel like it's the right moment, I think, and I like having that right moment feeling, and I have got that right moment feeling right about fucking now with Tourian's Oracle of Echoes. Tourian sent me her deck, the Hidden Waters Tarot, which I was very privileged to receive. I love it. It's an abstract tarot deck based on the Rorschach test concept, and I actually did an unboxing of the Hidden Waters Tarot. You can check that out below. I'll leave it below for you. And she asked me if I'd be interested in checking out the Oracle of Echoes, and I said absolutely yes, of course. I had a look at the images online and I fell in love, and actually one of them made me feel a little bit emotional, but I can't remember which one it was now. I can't remember. I've made a point of not going back to the website and focusing on the images too much because I want them to feel fresh for this unboxing, and I want to give you my perceptions, you know, kind of raw rather than really looking at the images online and really getting into them online. So I can't really remember much about the deck. I remember the style of the images, but I haven't looked at anybody else's reviews that I've seen on YouTube, and I haven't gone back and actually looked in depth at the images because I want these responses and reflections to be super fresh. That's what an unboxing is all about, right? So let's get into it. I'm so excited, Anna. Thank you so much. I can't express to you how much of a joy it is to watch you on your artistic journey as a creator and to be privileged enough to be asked to check this out and give it a look. The Oracle of Echoes is now in my hot little hands, and I have a feeling that this one is going to be deep. This one is going to be deep, guys. I just know it. Oh gosh, I didn't do that thing I usually do where I forget my scissors. Rookie move, amateur move there. Decided to bypass the amateur move today. Oh, I'm so hungry. I'm glad my man badger's coming back with some lunch for me soon. I'm so excited. Okay. Oh, blimey. Okay, so this is the box. See, that on its own reminds me of something. I don't know what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a piece of art. And it reminds me, it gives me like an archetypal feeling, a feeling that this is a mythopoetic construct that I've seen before, this human being holding a heart and just gazing straight at me. It's gorgeous. And there's a print from another card on the back, Spirit Heals. I'm not sure what the print on the front is, but the one on the back is Spirit Heals. How gorgeous. Oh, that is lovely. Now I think that might have been the one that made me feel emotional, because it's really making me feel emotional now looking at it, and it's giving me an incredible feeling of something that's irrelevant in my own life right now, and it was relevant at the time as well when I first checked out these images online. So yeah, I definitely feel like that might have been the one. Okay, so I'll open it up. Oh wow. Oh, it's finally here. This is the first card, the Oracle of Echoes by Tourian, and it's signed. And this is the back. It's a beautiful kind of eye this really moody red. This red and black combo is making me think of Rothko, except of course it's a square and rectangular kind of vibe with Rothko, but it's that same like vivid, really deep red and black. This is awesome. Okay, so finally let's get into this after all of this time. That's the size. My hands are pretty small, guys. So it's kind of an ordinary small tarot card size. Just as I'm kind of shuffling through this now, looking at it, it's such an array of colour and so many different emotions are clearly being expressed in this deck. I'm so happy to finally open it, and I really feel like it's going to crack open so much that I can work with effectively. The very first card right at the front is Awaken Inner Force. And I love this dragon rising up protectively over this human being, but also the feeling that the human being is morphing into a dragon, transforming into a dragon. That is so awesome to see. Awaken Inner Force. I love how that's an instruction as well. I love how that's like a command or a piece of advice. Oh wow, I love the Spirit Guides card. That's an incredible card. That's so like ancestral, that energy. It's really making me think of like people literally looking down from kind of like the heavens, I suppose you could say. Like all the people that occupied this town, maybe, looking down over this town. And then I feel like there are two layers of spirit guides, or that like there's a layer of faces, a set of kind of ancestral, kind of paternal looking faces. And then above there is this other sort of level of dark figures, you know, with eyes. Like, it's really incredible. It's like that's an even older generation of ancestors, a more primal generation of ancestors. Kind of makes me think about the depths of the collective unconscious, but kind of flipped, so it's the other way around. That is really awesome. I'd love to journal with that, actually. I might journal with that today. That's really awesome. And I love the fact that the sky is all red as well. Sorrow is just a pair of crying eyes, which I think is just really, yeah, subtle, simplistic, says what it needs to say, does what it says on the tin. Very beautiful. I suppose there's so many different ways you could dress up, you know, the word sorrow and the concept of what it means to be sorrowful, but really that's just so subtle and so moving all on its own, the crying eyes. Ooh, a warning is a great card. Wow, with that great big skull in the background. That really kind of domineering death symbolism. And then the raven. That is so like matron deity to me. That's so death maiden. I love it. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, the Spirit Heals card to me is really righteous. It's gorgeous. It reminds me of having the inner child held, trusting someone to see you in your vulnerability or comfort you in your sorrow. And I love the fact that this big figure that's holding on to this woman is filled with what looks to be stars. It's like it's the cosmos. It's the cosmos holding her, which is just awesome. The Create Space card has a real Empress vibe to it. An Empress slash kind of High Priestess vibe to it. I like as well how this is another instruction, create space. It's an action that is being advised, and I really enjoy that. Much like with the first card, which was Awaken Inner Force. It means a lot to me that there is a depression card in this deck, because I've suffered with depression for years, and that really makes me feel something to see that and have it associated with that word, you know, to see that image that is so bleak and stark and lonely being associated with that word. I think it will mean a lot for me in my personal reflections to have a card in the deck called depression. I don't know how other people feel about that, people that don't suffer from depression, people that do. I feel like the word can be a little bit overused at the moment, and I feel like there is a little bit of difficulty for people to understand the difference between depression and low moods, or, you know, sadness which is associated with a specific thing that's happened. I think the word depression is being a little bit too liberally used, and I worry that that will cause us to dilute our understanding of what it actually is and our respect for what it actually is. So I don't know if maybe there is another point of view here about the word depression being featured, but to me, obviously on a personal level, it will be a very helpful thing for me to have and for me to journal with and explore. Hi babe!
Hi darling. Olives?
Oh, I'm so hungry.
Right, here's some avos.
Thank you. Yeah, please, if you slice mine up, I'll come in and grab it quickly before my clients. I'm so hungry. Okay, so this was a very satisfying little two-part situation where I saw the card God Speaks, and then I really, really wanted to turn and have the next card be Goddess Speaks, and it was! That is absolutely gorgeous, a pairing. That's just really awesome for me. I'm really becoming increasingly more interested in the archetypes of the divine feminine and divine masculine, so for me that's really awesome. I mean, obviously I suppose the key thing is that goddess energy isn't being discounted and that there is that kind of harmony rather than just having God Speaks, but yeah, the fact that they come as a pairing is really cool, and they look so complementary together. There's a real harmony there. I like the fact actually that God Speaks is much more colourful, because it reminds me of in nature where normally it is the male of the species that is more colourful, that is more vibrant, and that is to attract the female. And that's just what that made me think of randomly. I was like, kind of reminded me of peacocks and peahens, and how the peacocks are like really colourful and super vibrant. Oh, the Father Time card is really cool. The Kronos vibes there. I really love that. That's it's got a William Blake vibe to it as well. It's kind of like how William Blake paints Yahweh, so that's really cool. Oh, now the Fear card has got a kind of Kundalini vibe to it, the serpent down the spine kind of thing. I'll have to think about that a lot more, because I'm not super up on that archetype and that energy. But I do know that Kundalini has this, you know, the whole awakening the serpent thing to it, but it's not something that I'm really knowledgeable about, so I don't really want to speak on it, because I'm probably going to end up saying the wrong thing and, you know, showcasing my ignorance. It's not something I've studied in depth, so... But that's the first thing that it made me think of, and I just wanted to mention that, because I kind of think that's the beauty of unboxings, isn't it? That, you know, you're giving your first impressions, you're really just visiting the deck for the first time and kind of taking people with you on that initial exploration. So I thought I'd mention that to me that's what that kind of was reminiscent of. It could actually be a call to encourage me to look into that more, because I have been meaning to. I like the way the healing card could be described as bleak. I enjoy the fact that it's not vibrant and it's not warm and it doesn't look easy, because I do think we can paper over the healing journey quite a lot. The language that we can use around it can be kind of counterproductive. It is true that it is not easy. It is true that there is a lot of breakdown to break through. It's true that it can get messy and that it can be a lot like tidying the house, you know, it can look worse before it looks better. And those are all parts of the healing journey that we really need to stop papering over and really focus on and really come to. And I've been thinking about this more and more of late, you know, how some spiritual language and some spiritual resources could be decidedly unhelpful for people who are finding that the healing journey is really bringing up a lot of shit, a lot of anger, a lot of feelings of betrayal, a lot of feelings of abandonment, a lot of old stuff that hasn't been processed. And I think that there's sometimes not enough of an attempt to accommodate those people that are going through those things that are, you know, ugly and are not necessarily about, you know, like choosing love and just, you know, kind of realising that fear isn't real. Like, fear is real, anger is real, that feeling of abandonment is real. These experiences that we had that we need to get through really did happen. And the healing journey can definitely be a bleak, stark, cold place where you start to realise a lot of things that you never wanted to realise, and you pull back the blindfold and you see things for what they are. And so for me, I'm glad the healing card is stark and cold and a little sad looking. I mean, you've got that sapling there that's growing and the roots going down, but there's something very like, oh, cold about that card. And I think that's important. I think it's important to address the truth of the healing journey, and it's not all rainbows and sunflowers and unicorns, you know. The inner strength card is clever because the strength card in tarot is a lion, and the inner strength card in Anna Tourian's Oracle of Echoes deck is a person emerging from a lion's mouth. Now, there's a lot you could play with there. That is very mind-twisting, isn't it? That there's something to that. That's really clever. I like the way the window at the top of the home card in the roof looks like an eye. That does something to me. Oh, I enjoy the way the hope and look within cards seem to have a relationship as well. They seem to be playing with each other and dancing together. They look like a couple of eyes. Hello? Hello? I'm trying to look within, but I can't see anything. I really want to make sure that I don't talk about every card, because this is just an unboxing and I don't do walkthroughs or anything like that. I don't like to show every card, but I just have to say the Let Go card is epic for the way that the walkway is disappearing into the water. Now that is a real piece of me. That is fucking, again, so heady, so many layers to that. I just love that because it's kind of disturbing that the walkway seems to be sinking into the sea. And it doesn't seem like I should walk across the walkway, you know, it doesn't seem like a good idea, it doesn't seem safe, and it seems almost like something has collapsed, something is dilapidated, something is wrong. And that in itself is a call for me to let go of my expectation, let go of what I think should be there. That is, yes, Anna, just nail, head, hit it, just brilliant. It's bringing up so many feelings for me that are so intrinsic to the phrase let go. The self-involved card is really interesting because self-involved is, you know, very often 9 times out of 10, well 10 times out of 10 really, we're going to think of the term self-involved as a negative thing. But it's interesting that this figure appears to be pushing a space out for themselves, carving a space for themselves amid all of this chaos and all of this noise of different people around and stuff. And so I feel like almost there is this examination that has to be done regarding the idea of selfishness and self-centeredness and self-involvement, and to what extent those things are necessary in the human lifespan, and to what extent we need to stop shaming ourselves for wanting to potentially take more space for ourselves and listen to ourselves more. And so that is an interesting exploration, because even for me, self-involved, you know, has quite a negative connotation a lot of the time, but I feel like that's not really what's being said here, or I feel like there is, you know, this other side to it that isn't perhaps so shadowy and isn't so much of a flaw, and is more of an attempt to create space for one to actually have sovereignty or have connection to the inner voice. Oh, self-sabotage just looks like an argument between the ego and the higher self, the ego and the witness to the ego. And that is, I'm here for that 100%, that's brilliant. I like the fact that there's a staircase in the background as well, but neither of the figures are actually engaging with the staircase at all. So it's almost like, I don't know, like the ego can't, you know, the ego self won't see the staircase or won't look at it or is afraid of it, and so the higher self can't really address it or look to it either, or something. I don't know, I'll have to figure it out, I'll have to work it out, but to me that's really about the witness to what your ego is doing or fearing or maintaining, and then the ego itself, which is, you know, running rampant in this card. It's all kind of like trying to bury itself in the ground almost, or trying to go off in the direction of hell or something. This is a great card. This is really, really thought-provoking. Oh god, the symbiosis card is, that's a piece of me. That is, again, bringing up some things that are really going on in my life right now, and that's just, yes, that's beautiful. What a gorgeous card. I like the way you could see the infinity symbol in that, and it's beautifully abstract, which I love. Trust is the card that was that's on the front of the deck, on the box for the deck, which is great because it's now that I've got the context for that, it makes so much more sense, you know, holding your heart out to someone and trusting them with it, I guess. I think I'll leave it at that, but I'm really looking forward to journaling with these cards and exploring with them. I'm going to take them in my bag. I'm going away in a few days' time, and I'm definitely going to be taking this deck with me, so that's going to be really cool, and I'll let you know how I'm getting on with it and give you a review in good time. I hope that this has offered you a taste of the deck. I'll leave the link below to help you to get hold of it if you want to do that. Thank you so much, Anna, for giving me the opportunity to own this deck and work with it. I'm really excited. This is right up my street. This is absolutely up my alley. This is what I'm here for. This is what it's about for me with Oracle decks, and yeah, thank you. I feel really energized already by this, really inspired. This is very poetic. This is, you know, the colors are delicious, the concept is delicious. I really do feel like this is going to be a good deck for psyche diving, and I can definitely see myself working with it for my clients. So thank you very much. I hope this has been interesting, guys. Much love and blessed be.